Hey everybody, Chad Nobody Else's Auto, 7:30 Sunday evening, time for some Sunday night live chat. Looks like some of you are already here and ready to go. Neil's here, Glenn's on, Dad's with us, Jim's here. And looks like we're ready to go. There's Kevin L, JP. Glad you guys keep making it back week after week for what we're doing here. Lots and lots of stuff going on. I got tons of stuff to talk about tonight. Lots of fun things happening. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, we'll get into a little bit of housekeeping. Autocorrect, please double check your comment before you hit send in case autocorrect changes to something that I can't understand. If you're on the Nobody Show Facebook page, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page. You'll need to be on that page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel if you want to comment, participate in the auctions, etc. Trolls, we do occasionally get trolls. You guys do a great job of running them off. We've got a little help from Kevin and Pete with that now, but they still do pop up occasionally. Super chats are cool. Ads are another thing we're dealing with. Unfortunately, that is a YouTube thing, and there isn't much we can do about it other than try to work around them. Looks like we've got Scott here with us on Facebook. And Kevin's here from South Dakota. Tractor Mike is on with us tonight. Brett's here with us. Number one, Mike from Texas. Big Job's here. Glad you guys are all here and ready to go tonight. So anyway, like I said, lots of things going on. Matt's here. Nate's on. Lots of cool stuff. Dennis is here on the No Buddies page as well. I've been seeing a bunch of cool stuff on there this weekend. Appreciate your guys' participation in there and some other really cool stuff that happened on there tonight. Jennifer Withrow, Jason's wife. Jason used to hang out with us here very, very regularly. Definitely one of the regular early nobodies. We lost him a couple years ago, and Jennifer was on there posting tonight, which was super cool. You guys might want to check that out. So if you guys are not on the Nobodies Facebook page, get on there. Zach and Andy are managing that for us. Answer the questions. They will get you on there. Let's see. Dennis, Pete, Waycamp. Frank's here with us from just a little bit east of me. I was over in your neck of the woods this week, Frank, actually. Bill Disk made it. So anyway, get on that Facebook page. It's well worth it. That was pretty cool stuff. You guys are doing a great job on there. It's cool seeing your stuff, your collections, where you're decorating things, how you're decorating stuff with your auction wins. It's pretty neat. So Bill Wagaman, Charles is here. But anyway, like I said, tons of stuff going on. Let's start off with Austin's here. The van video. I hope you guys all caught the van video. Huge shout out to Glenn for saving it right out of the gate. I know I've been promising you guys that thing was pretty magnificent. I hope it didn't disappoint. So if you haven't caught the van video from Friday night, please do so. But curious as to what you guys thought. I was pretty excited about it. Glenn was pretty excited about it. But obviously, like I said, the artwork was amazing. Just thought it was a pretty neat deal. Epic. There you go. That's a good way to put it. So finally got it done. There's the nut farm. Get it clear coated. Yeah, somebody should do something with that. I don't know what. I don't have time to deal with it, but that's why I thought putting it out there. Maybe we'll find the right person for it. Hudson Badge. Bob Ross on an acid trip. There you go, Nick. That's definitely one way to put it. So anyway, check that out if you missed it. We talked a little bit about the Beaumont Hotel. I'm working on that content as well. If you've not checked out the Beaumont Hotel YouTube channel, please check that out. Got some cool videos about ready to drop over there this week as well. That's a neat place with some really interesting history. I know you guys are going to be excited about the Twin Beach video, the drug running and gun running Twin Beach they have there on display from that was actually owned and part of the Barry Seal fleet, who was running drugs for the South American cartels before he flipped to the CIA. A lot of cool stuff coming there. Briggs made it tonight. Jim, watch the 65. Oh, no, actually, Scott with Rebel Driver Garage, he lives in Nebraska now. He used to live in California. He is living in Nebraska. It was about 3 hours for him to come down. So, yeah, that's where he's from, or where he lives now. Billy Bowman's here. So, nope, he didn't drive it all the way from California. Something else, a couple of other things I want to touch base before we get into any deeper in here. The next 2 weeks, I'm going to try to be on. There's Guitar Zan. I'm going to be out of town the next 2 weekends. Next week, I should be back on Sunday unless something goes haywire. We may not have a full episode, but we will be on tomorrow night or next Sunday unless something really goes wonky and I don't get home in time. So we'll see. We'll play that by ear. The following weekend, I will be out of town again. I do not know if I'm coming back on Sunday or not. After I get back from next weekend, I've got to go through my schedule for the following weekend. So we may jump on, but I may be in a hotel room too, 2 weeks from now. So just kind of keeping things, keeping you apprised of stuff and what's going on. My good buddy, Johnny Nitro, with us on Facebook. Glad you jumped on with us tonight. So bear that in mind for the next 2 weeks. My plan is to be on, but it's going to be different. So like I said, I should be back next week, but I probably won't have everything ready. We'll get some stuff done. And then 2 weeks from now, maybe normal, or I may be from a hotel room doing what we can do from there. We'll just see how it shakes out. So bear that in mind. I will keep you guys updated with posts as we get a little closer on some of that stuff. So, what else is going on? One thing, before we get any further past this, we still want to talk about last weekend. We touched on it a little bit. John from Texas is here. Barrett-Jackson. Our good friend Jim Wicks was there. I did talk to him last Monday night. He did buy some killer stuff. If you guys missed it, there was a 1960 Ford Starliner with a Ford GT drivetrain in it. I looked the pictures up, and it was a knockout car. Jeff from Ottawa, Frank's here. He actually bought that car for a client. He bought a beautiful black-on-black 56 Victoria with a 312 in it for himself. Bought a 51 Chevy pickup for a client. And one of the funnest things he got to do last weekend, even though he didn't get it bought, he bought a 71 Charger yesterday. So and he is in Vegas this weekend. Have not talked to him to see how things are going in Vegas. This is the report from last weekend at Barrett-Jackson. Even though he didn't get this car bought, he was second bidder. He was runner-up bidder. Not for him, but for a client on Sammy Hagar's Ferrari that sold for $4.2 million. So he was the $4 million bid. So he had a client that gave him a pretty big rock to throw at that one. So we'll see if we can get a hold of him this week and get an update about anything else that may have happened from Vegas Mecum other than the 71 Charger that Tractor Mike saw him buy. So that he had a good weekend at Barrett. Hopefully he's having just as good a weekend at Vegas, and we'll get some more updates from him soon. So it's always fun getting stories from him about what's going on. Rico was out this week. I don't know if you guys saw his post on the Nobody's page. He helps Classic Parts America, the Chevy truck place in Kansas City. He came out and got a whole bunch of cores for them, so got to hang out with Rico a bit this week. Went over to McPherson, picked up another car, saw some of our friends at McPherson College, some of the students that have been over here a few times over the past year. So got to hang out with those guys for a little bit last week when I was over there. We'll get to that here in a bit with new inventory. Something else that I wanted to mention to you guys that I thought was really super cool. American Auto Emblems. We talk about it on here a lot. That's right, Tractor Mike. Rico, a good dude, but always got a boo for Jess. We talk a lot about American Auto Emblems on here. We use that website a lot because we have a lot of badges to check out, a lot of history. And I saw something really cool. I bet he did have a blast at Trog. I bet he had a ton of fun there. There's an email list you can sign up for on AmericanAutoEmblems.com. If you guys have not done that, do it. Well, wait a minute. Don't do that. Because then you find more badges that you want to buy. But because I'm on that email list, I got this automated email from them that the website AmericanAutoEmblems.com was awarded the Society of Automotive Historians E.P. Ingersoll Award for 2024. Kenny's here. Trog, the Race of Gentlemen. It's a pretty neat deal. All super old school stuff. So look it up. The Race of Gentlemen. It's back east. Where was it actually at, Frank? Is it in Jersey? I know it's clear back east. I'm honored and delighted to report that www.americanautoemblems.com has received the E.P. Ingersoll Award for 2024 by the Society of Automotive Historians. The award was presented at the Society of Automotive Historians Award ceremony in Hershey, October 9th, and was received by Mike Shears and Murray Shears. The E.P. Ingersoll Award goes to AmericanAutoEmblems.com. This website is a detailed repository that covers a diverse variety of American automotive makes and models dating from the horseless carriage era up to the post-war period. What makes this site unique is that it features a large number of historic photos and images that complement the emblems being displayed, which is why we use it so much and talk about it so much. Auto emblems are just a part of the material to be found on the site, with vehicles listed alphabetically to facilitate navigation and identification. Exploring AmericanAutoEmblems.com is like wandering through an antique shop or flea market. Once you start looking at emblems, you'll find yourself falling down a rabbit hole of American automotive artifacts. This website is a wonderful example of what the E.P. Ingersoll Award represents, and that's why it is the recipient of this year's honor. So, obviously, I love it. I talk about it a lot. I encourage you guys to use it. So, it's pretty cool to see them actually getting some recognition for the work they've done. So, anyway, let's see. Okay, that's all Trog stuff. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Thought that was neat seeing them being recognized for all the work that they have done. Sounds like Frank's already ready to go back. Jim is on it, gets an email. It's cool stuff. So I have not heard anything from him, Big Job. I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I know when we backed up to 8, I know because he's 2 hours ahead of us. I know he wasn't on after that, and then but I don't think when we backed up to 7:30, I don't think he's been back since then either. That's right, Hutch Swap Meet is coming up, I believe, this weekend already. There's a pretty cool auction coming up. It's in California, so it doesn't have anything to do with me. And actually, Sotheby's is having it. You might want to look it up just to look at the pictures because it was pretty cool. They literally have it advertised as their junkyard auction, but it's not your typical junkyard. I don't know how many 356 Porsches they have, Ferraris, 300 SL Roadster, 300 SL Gullwing. I mean, just some dozens of Porsche engines, Ferrari parts. I mean, it's kind of neat. It's like, it looks like it was probably stuff it's probably been sitting there since the 70s when these cars were wrecked and bought at field for parts. So I flipped through the pictures last night and it was just cool just checking it all out. So you guys might want to look it up. So Europe. Yeah. There were some Mercedes in there. So yeah, it was cool just looking at the pictures. So you guys might want to look that up just to check it out, just for the heck of it. What else is going on? I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything here. I got a lot of stuff marked. But I did catch one other auction this week. Couldn't afford to breathe the air. Awesome, Kevin. Glad you got it. I'm not going to Hutch. I'll be out of town this weekend. I'm leaving like Thursday, and I won't be back until Sunday. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to get to the Hutch swap meet. There was an auction. Our friends over at Car Auction and Real Estate had an auction Thursday. Went over there. Tractor Mike showed up. So I got Tractor Mike and I hung out at the auction on Thursday. I bought a few things at the auction. But what I also did, the Chevrolet promo auction from a month ago, I knew one of the guys that bought a bunch of those as well, and he is also a dealer. So he didn't buy any of them to keep. So I got a hold of him, and I asked him which all ones he got, and he said, I'll just bring them. So he had a tote full of promos to look at when we got to the auction Thursday. And I ended up buying more of the Chevy promos. Tractor Mike got one, and Dad and I got another handful. Michael Glagola here with us on Facebook. So I now have more of the promos from the Chevy auction. I did a rough count based on the pictures I took, and I think we need to buy a few more because Dad and I almost own half of what they sold that day with this last batch. So I probably better get a few more so I can at least crest that 50% mark, right? No, there was only 2 of those pickups. That was it. That was all that was there. So we have more of the Chevy promos to check out. And there was a couple that I wasn't going to buy, but Tractor Mike talked me into buying. He's like, you got to buy them. I was like, I've already spent too much money. I just bought this building. I said, I can't be spending the money on more of them. He goes, you got to buy them. He goes, that one? He goes, that's still in the warp era. And that thing is straight. The bumpers aren't chipped. You got to buy it. It's early. You got to buy it. And I was like, I can't buy it. He's like, you got to buy it because you'll regret it if you don't buy it. So actually made the initial deal, then ended up buying a few more after that. So Tractor Mike talked me into that, but Tractor Mike got a cool one for his collection as well. So we now have some more Chevy promos added to the collection to share with you guys over. No, we haven't done it tonight yet, Jeff. And you're going to be really glad that you didn't miss it because tonight it's killer. Like I said, we've got so much amazing stuff from this collection that it's just nuts. That's right, Big Job. You're going to buy everybody else's Christmas gifts. Tractor Mike equals questionable decisions. Yeah, like that's a news flash. Yeah. Little peer pressure never hurt. Yeah, so I did actually end up buying those last couple as well. But he's got a few more that I'm still thinking about, so I will probably end up getting a hold of him here in the next week or two anyway. Tony made it tonight. Enough to last till 3:34? Not quite, but we've got... Nah, we're not going to quite get to 300. We got a lot of them. Of course, I'm not done buying them yet either, so we got to bear that in mind. And we've done 4 or 5 of them now. So, Tractor Mike equals the voice of reason. That could be an extremely debatable topic. And Waycamp made Tractor Mike buy a tractor yesterday. So, yeah. Kind of goes both ways, doesn't it? So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Like I said, been a kind of a crazy bonkers week between hauling, and that's the other thing. I had a ton of cars come in. Double W's here. Weston made it tonight. Had a ton of inventory come in this week. I've got a guy that's doing some hauling for me, and he got a handful of them like last Sunday and going into Monday. So we've got a lot of new inventory to talk about. And that's right, Bill. And that's why I stepped up and bought these other ones. And like I said, we got some pretty decent money tied up in this stuff now, but some of this is just stuff you don't just stumble onto them. And you guys are going to be seeing that over the next several months, actually. But some pretty amazing stuff. Dad and I are both pretty excited about this stuff. So, but speaking of getting into the new inventory, starting off with the trip over to McPherson College to see some of our friends over there. I bought this car from a student over there, one that he got and was going to build a motor for and do something with, and finally decided he's got a Mustang he's working on, decided he wanted to focus on the Mustang, so he called me. We worked out a deal on a 1955 Pontiac Chieftain two-door hardtop. So that's kind of a cool car. We'll be getting you some content on that as well. And what else came in this week? 1964 International 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup, complete truck. That's kind of neat. Something you don't see very often. Mid-60s Internationals, I don't have much. that stuff just never survived, I guess. I don't know. I don't even stumble across mid-60s internationals. So, Mark's here. Glad you made it, Mark. What else? 1935-36 era Dodge truck. I haven't got that one nailed down yet exactly. 1948 Ford truck, like an F4, a small farm truck, as well as a 1962 Ford cab-over COE, the kind of cracker box one where the whole cab tilted forward. They made it from like 57 up to the late 60s. Pretty complete, clean, old 62 Ford COE cab-over. Yeah, we did talk about it, Kenny, but appreciate that. We talked about the van right away, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yep, International made a lot of vans for sure. So if we didn't have enough new inventory to share with you guys, we've got a ton more coming up because that all came in this week. So lots of cool stuff coming. You guys don't want to miss any of it here in the very near future. So anyway, I guess it's time to do a promo model. We'll check out some emblems. We're getting story time is going to be a lot of fun tonight. We're going to talk about the raffle. And we do have some auction stuff. We've got some Automotive Trade Journal stuff to do. So we got a lot of fun things to do and a lot of stuff to keep going on. We're going to give you a Hudson badge and we're going to give you an Auburn badge as we get ready to move into the promo model. Now, like I've been telling you guys, the promo models that we came up with, the stuff out of the Chevy dealer, big badge. Austin's ready for the big badge already. Are you guys ready for the big badge? I mean, the big badge, yields a lot of power. I don't know. Do we want the big badge now, or should we wait for the big badge? That's true, Big Job. Mark Falcon, I have not heard from in a while. I know he had another meeting that was switched to a Sunday night deal. He did tell me that a few months ago. So not sure. I assume that's probably where he's still at, is he had another meeting on Sunday evenings as well. Norma, I have not heard anything from since she got a hold of me about 3 weeks before the auction about potentially running a pickup, but that's the last I've heard out of Norma. So are we ready? Are we ready? Can you guys handle it? Austin's demanding it. Boom. The big Auburn 12 in your face. All right. So like we've talked about, you guys have seen a handful of them. We've got some knockout stuff coming. Gray Kitty is actually over there in her bed. Gray Kitty. Yeah, she twerked her ears up, but obviously you've seen a few of them. We've got just some promos that I never even thought we'd have a chance to buy type promos. And condition, like I mentioned to you guys before, these people had going to goggles immediately. These people were Chevy dealers in the 50s and 60s. And I think up into the 80s, the way it looks based on the promos, because some of the promos do go up into the early 80s. When one showed up that they liked, they literally took it home and put it on their shelf in their house. So that's why the condition on these things are so amazing. They were never played with. There were a couple of them there that looked like they may have gotten knocked off a shelf that had a chip bumper or something. We did not end up with any of those. But that's why the condition on these is so amazing. I made Tractor Mike buy the highest dollar promo he's ever bought. You're right, it is. It's good. It is good. You know that, Mike. So throw your ears in the air like you just don't care. Yeah, it's kind of what she's doing. So that being said, nope, Sid is still here. I haven't had any serious players on it yet. I mean, it's an amazing truck, but I haven't had any serious players on it yet. So we'll see. It's not getting worth any less sitting here. That's the nice part about it. It's not depreciating. So, but like I said, and just like the promo tractor, Mike got is more than he's ever paid for one, but it's it's a pretty knockout piece. Kind of like what we've got tonight. I got a little bit of rubbing compound on this one yet. There's a scuff in it. And I tried to get the scuff out, but I couldn't. I got a little bit of compound on it yet. Because this one actually has a teeny tiny scuff in the roof. And I was going to try to get that out. So that's right. Glenn keeps telling himself no Sid. But tonight, without further ado, if you guys are ready, going back to the year 1969, and this is probably, in my personal opinion, for whatever that's worth, by far the best color Chevrolet had in 1969. It's on a great-looking full-size car here. For the 1969, Guitar Zan's got a 64 Thunderbird. Yeah, I love them too, obviously. And this thing is just wow. In the iconic, nope, you're wrong, Austin. Austin's guessing, but he's wrong. In the iconic 1969 Le Mans Blue, we've got an Impala SS 427 hardtop. And yes, it does say SS 427 on it. Now, I told you it's damaged. It's got a scuff right here that I was trying to get out of it. You guys all right? There's a lot of great comments. I told you this stuff is good, guys. I told you this stuff is good. And that thing was just like a river of comments there for a couple of seconds. So this had the scuff right here. I tried to get out, but that's it. Now, if we can look, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not, but on 69, they had the fender badge here with the engine size. This one does say 427 on it. I don't know if we can get it to where you guys can see it or not. Probably not. It has the SS badge in the middle of the grille. It does not have hideaway headlights, which I thought was kind of odd. And I wouldn't say it's one of the worst ones, but yeah, like Tractor Mike says, I wouldn't say it's one of the worst ones, but it's not anywhere near some of the good ones. That's how off the charts this stuff is. Has SS badges on the front fenders. Hubcaps on a 427 Super Sport. Across the back, and this is kind of interesting. John will be up all night with these things. And guys, you haven't even seen the good ones. That's how crazy this is. You haven't seen the good ones yet. SS on the trunk lid of this one. 69 on the plate. Bottom side, as usual, just pretty much a basic one-piece molded plastic. Inside, bucket seats, full-length floor console. But I love the Le Mans Blue. I thought in 69, the Le Mans Blue was just about as good as you could get. I thought they did an amazing job with it. And just love that color on about everything. And it looks absolutely amazing on this 69 Impala Super Sport 427. But like I said, a little surprised that it does not have hideaway headlights. Glenn said it was the last year for an Impala SS until the 90s cars. That's right, and it is a very unique back window design on these 69 and 72 door hardtops. So that's from sitting in the box. And that's the crazy part about it. There were no boxes for any of these promos. None of them there had a box at all. I think they literally put them on their shelf and threw the box away because they were never moving. And they literally never did move until they took them out of the cases and put them and took them to this auction. And they had a bunch of the cases at the auction. I know these were in, and Dad bought some of those as well. So there you have it. The 1969 Impala SS 427 in Le Mans Blue for tonight's promo car. Yeah, don't have 26s on it. Yep. So lots of hearts, lots of great comments. And just like Tractor Mike said, that I wouldn't call this one of the worst ones, but it's nowhere near the good ones. As amazing as this car is, I'd say this probably isn't anywhere near the good ones that we've got coming. And like I said, condition, they're all this good. I think every one we bought is at least this good. So we got some fun months coming up on some of these Chevy promos. How about some emblems? How about a Hudson badge? Tonight we've got a couple of unique pieces. Starting off with going back to the early 50s, I believe this was actually 1952, the first year that you could order a V8 in your Studebaker. This went on the front edge of the hood, I believe on a 52 Studebaker. It was recessed. They used a recessed badge right at the tip of the Studebakers back in the early 50s. 52, I think, was the first year they had the V8. This would have laid flat right towards the front of the hood. It is stud mount. It's set right out at the peak of the hood on your V8 Studebaker. The V8 is all embossed in here. Let's see. Factory fresh. I've seen it factory fresh. They were very hard to find. 69 last year for the non-hiding headlights. So this is not a huge badge, even though it did go right out on the front nose of the hood. It's only 2 3/4 by 2 1/4. So it's about 2 3/4 long, 2 1/4 tall. So not a huge badge, but the chrome plating would have definitely stood out against the paint. This one obviously in pretty good shape because this is a metal base. If this would have been in the rust belt, this whole base probably would have been completely have been rusted off of it. Nice bright shiny chrome on the 52 Studebaker V8 front hood badge. The next one we're going to check out, and this is a pretty unique piece. I think it's even new old stock, actually. They do reproduce these, but the pictures that I saw on the reproductions, there is a minor difference on the backside. So I think this is actually new old stock. This was used in 1966, 67, 68 era on the little Barracuda Formula S. Red, white, and blue around the perimeter of the S. This is a perfect circle. Bright, shiny chrome on the S, kind of a matte finish on the ring around it. It is stud mount, pop metal. And it is 2 1/4 inches in diameter. Now, like I said, I looked these up, and they do reproduce them. You can buy them all day long. However, on the back, this one actually, if you guys can make it out, right over here, has the little DCPD emblem, Dodge Chrysler Plymouth DeSoto stamp in it, that Mopar cast into a lot of their parts. The reproductions do not have that, from what I could tell. So I believe if you look at the studs, they're not scratched. They haven't had a screw on them. So I believe this is a Newell stock original Formula S emblem for a little late 60s Barracuda. So that's what we've got tonight, the 52 Studebaker V8 and the little Formula S for a Barracuda. How about story time? We got a fun story time tonight, guys. I'm excited about it. We're going to give you an Auburn badge while we're thinking about it, and we're going to get into story time. Where I pulled all the dad's old files and we look about a car that he did 40 some years ago. Glad you guys like tonight's emblem, something a little bit different. But on story time tonight, this is actually a car we've talked about in the past. It was a car that I do remember. Dad had this car for about 3 years, and I know you guys are going to remember it because it's a good-looking car. And there were a lot of comments when we looked at the pictures on it before, how clean it was. 1966 Cadillac Calais. This one's kind of hard to forget. I'm sure you guys probably remember it. But now, like we talked about, we're going to get the rest of the story because I've got Dad's file, the whole packet, on this 1966 Cadillac. So, let's learn a little bit more about it. Bought the car July 17th of 1978. It was a trade-in at the Buick Cadillac dealership where Dad worked at. So you got to remember, this was July 17th of 78. No, this car's long gone. But it was a great car. I remember it, and it was a great car. So, but there again, that's why we're doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, checking this stuff out. Whoops. So he bought it July 17th of 1978. It was a trade-in at the Buick Cadillac dealership where he worked at. Purchase price on a 12-year-old Cadillac at that point. And he didn't paint it or anything. It actually, I think he said it had a bearing out on the drive shaft or something. They couldn't find one. So this car, it was 12 years old in 1978 when he bought it. Any guesses as to what he paid for it? What was a 12-year-old Cadillac worth in 1978? $325, $800, $2,400, $800, $675. A lot of you guys are actually pretty darn close. And I don't understand how they come up with this purchase price, but the purchase price was $706.25 with sales tax and safety inspection. It was $732.93. So a lot of you guys were really pretty close, right in that window. $732.93. Best deal per pound. Yes, that's for sure. So let's see here. Copy of the original title. Car was sold new June 6th of 1966 here in Great Bend. That's a thought at $80,000. Let's see if it says on here. Odometer reading 71,131 miles. So pretty close. 71,000 miles. Because Tarzan just right up front, he'd have paid too much for it. And that was a nice car. It really was. So we got a copy of the original title. Then the other thing, and I actually had to send Dad a picture of this last night. I thought I knew what it was, but I wasn't sure. But obviously in today's computer world, you can pull into the service drive. They can put your VIN in, and boom, they have instant history on your car right in front of them. Anything they've done to it, all the warranty history, you can look for open recalls. Boom, it's at the touch of a button in today's computer system. Back in the 70s, and I hope you guys will be able to make this out. We'll be able to see this. This card right here, this is a heavy cardboard card. Price when new, we'll look here in a second, see if it shows on the title. When a car came into the service drive, Dad said they had these actual cardboard cards. He would actually have to pull the card and look and see when the last time it had been there, the mileage, the work they had done to it. And then they had to update these cards and then put them back in the file. So when a car came in for repair, this card and the ticket would go to the office. The office would type that information onto this card and then go back out on the service drive and put this heavy cardboard card back into the slot. So that when dad was service manager, whoever service manager in that dealership would go pull this card whenever that car came back in for service. That's literally how they kept track of this stuff pre-computer days. All on a cardboard, on a heavy card in the service drive in a big, huge file cabinet. That's what that was for. So that was kind of crazy to think about as well. It did not have the new purchase price on the original title for that 66. So that was kind of interesting. And then when Dad bought the car, he took the card and put it in his file. It's probably faster and easier to do. Yeah. So let's see what else we've got in here ticket-wise. Some suspension parts, A-frame bushing, fuel filter, oil pan set. I don't know if that was for that car or not. Molding kit, fender skirts. And safety inspection. So didn't do a lot to that car. And I didn't think he did. Had the radio repaired for $3. Let's go through the entire receipt or the entire work order on this car here where Dad kept all of his notes on what he did to it. Repaired the drive shaft since that was the problem with it. Clean and buff, pack wheel bearings, tune up, rotate tires, install AM/FM radio and speakers, install upper control arm bushings, which we saw the ticket for that part for those parts. Oil change. Replace some moldings, valve cover gaskets, alternator, resonator and tailpipe, and a downshift switch. So not a heck of a lot, just a lot of piddly things, but no major work done to this car. The drive shaft, Dad said the drive shaft issue was why they wholesaled it, and that's why he bought it. So he repaired the drive shaft and then basically tune-up, pack wheel bearings, valve cover gaskets, just kind of normal stuff for that era on these cars. Now, this car actually was around for quite a while. If you guys remember when we first looked at the pictures, you know, I told you guys I did remember this car. It was around for a few years. And Dad sold the car in April of 81. So this car was around for almost 3 years. So that's why I remember it. Sold it in April in 81, and it went to Dodge City, Kansas. So there's kind of the rest of the story on the 66 Cadillac Calais that was around from 78 to 81. And it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, that car was a 12-year-old used car when Dad bought it. No different than buying a 2012 Cadillac today. But this thing was so cool. Balenwire made it. He is in Wenatchee, Washington. What the heck are you doing out there? So I thought that was pretty cool. I hope you guys are still enjoying this. Obviously, I'm enjoying it. When we go back through these old records of cars that Dad had years ago, some I remember, some I don't. This one I definitely do. I remember it was a very, very slick car on this green on green 1966 Cadillac Calais. Let's talk about the Raffle. Which one, Maggie? Which picture are we talking about? Oh, who's in? Who got into the big Buick oil can this week? Bringing junk home. Nothing wrong with that. There's Andy, the Rusty Okie made it. Yeah, Austin, I think everybody's pretty much got that figured out. So who got in this week? Michael Gagola. Big job. And surprise, surprise, Austin McCoy once again. On the raffle, I think we'll do it in 2 weeks. We're giving away this killer Structo turbine truck and then 3 Tootsies. So 4 prizes coming out of the can before we do the drawing for the first entries into next month's raffle. So 4 prizes this week, 1 big one, 3 small ones, and then the first names into the can for next month. But we ought to do a drawing right now, right? We still got all those emblems that we got from our viewer that he donated. Let's give another one of those away. What do we got in the bonus drawing can tonight? And we've got Satellite, Plymouth Satellite. We're almost there, Andy. I saw your pictures you posted. So we're getting there here just shortly. We're going to give this away. Then we're going to bust into some auction stuff. There's a piece of tape. It is not a Tonka. It is a Structo turbine. Let's give this one away to probably Austin, considering I think he owns half the can. Oh, yeah. Heather up there. Yep. What do we got for the satellite emblem tonight? Surprise, surprise, Austin McCoy. Everybody else's name is really in there. He says redraw. We're probably going to draw you again anyway. Austin said go ahead and redraw. So Austin's being a good sport because I think he does have half the can. That's because it's a Mopar emblem. If it was a Chevy emblem, I bet he'd be keeping it. Austin McCoy. Should we see if we can get another one of Austin's? You know, the funny part about it is we keep yanking his name now, and he won't win. We'll yank somebody else's name then. Dennis Chapman. And just to give you guys a sample, there are other names in there. Most of them are Austin's, but there are a few others in there. Okay. Not for sure, Maggie. Your name sounds familiar, but not for sure. All right, let's write Dennis's name on this emblem. And we'll throw it in his next shipment. All right, we got Dennis on there. Put that over here. Let's get Dennis's name, Austin's name, and Austin's name. Like Austin needs them back in there. right back into the can for the main drawing. All right. I guess that does bring us to the auction time. Right, guys? We ready for auction time? I know Andy is. Pete's already sighting in. Pull 5 names out. If we get 4 out of 5, he wins the truck. Yeah, I think he is. Yeah. Let me gather up some auction stuff here, get it all moved, get the pile scooched over here, and we'll dig into some stuff. Oh. Okay, Maggie, I know exactly who you are now. Well, I'm glad you're here with us. I hope you're having fun. So, I'm glad you stopped by tonight. I hope you're enjoying what we're doing here. So, thanks for swinging by and hanging out with us. Grab the ice out while I'm down there. No, I actually didn't grab any more hand plates. I do have some, but I didn't grab any more. I'll need to get some more of those out for you, Brett. Yep. That's true. Yeah, that night when my leg cramped, that was absolutely brutal. For Halloween, you have a Toyota in your driveway. I have a loader that has forks that go right through Toyotas. Very nicely, by the way. But yeah, that was brutal that night. When my leg cramped, I mean, I was doing everything I could to not scream because it was locked up so bad. So, yeah, I know you guys were wondering, but I couldn't. It's like, it was brutal. Anyway, before we get too far into the auction tonight, I want to bring up one other thing. Please, guys, you've got to work with me on your addresses and your payments. When you don't put that stuff in there, yes, I can find it at some point. But all you're doing is creating more work for me. If you want me to hold it for a few weeks, that's fine. If you just put hold for now, then fine, I can hold it. I've still got a couple things out there that have been laying out there for weeks that I've got payments on. I haven't had time to try to find an address for it. Ship station will save it off the city, but not the name, which is stupid if it's been like within the last 30 days. So please, guys, work with me as best you can. Give me an address or something to work with. And I'm going to use Randy with a Nut Farm as an example here. I hope this is okay, Randy, because Randy is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Every week, just like clockwork. You know, when I get one from Randy, it says right on here exactly what it is. When I print this out, he's got a Hudson cap. He wants $10 for Pioneer Village. If he wants Raffle, he puts Raffle 5, 10. If he has a license plate, it'll say license plate 20. Boom, 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 boom. In 30 seconds, I know exactly what I need to do for Randy. This one, I know I need to print 2 copies. One for the Pioneer Village file, which is right down here. One to ship with. If he's got Raffle, I print 3. One goes into the Raffle can, one goes into Pioneer Village. I've got a list of about what he's got. Yeah, that's right, Kenny. So, Randy is like clockwork. It's perfect. Boom. I know exactly what we need to do as soon as I see it. If he's on a license plate for 20, I scan my list, grab that plate, throw it in the stack. I was going through some stuff the other night. I've got plates in there that may have been paid for, but I don't know because it didn't say on there. And I understand you guys are getting one or two things, but I'm shipping 30 or 40, not counting your stuff. I've got all the stuff from tonight. I've got eBay stuff. I've got other direct orders. There's just a lot of stuff going on. So please, guys, work with me best you can. If there's nothing on there for me to work with, I'm going to start having to refund some of them because I just can't keep up with stuff that just creates that much more work for me. Because thanks, Randy. I appreciate it. Because, man, you are like clockwork. You make my life so simple. Boom. Done. I know exactly what to do. No question about it. Your stuff's done, ready to go, in a box. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I'm using you for an example because you're dead on every time. And it is so nice and so easy, and I appreciate that. So please, guys, just help me out there because all it does is creates more work. And I don't have a lot of time for it. So yeah, that sounds good, Big John. Whatever, just something to kind of help me know what to do, guys. So I've got some breakout because if it says Bob Smith $62 and I can't find, I've got some auction stuff for that, but I don't know if it's current week, past weeks. I don't know if there's raffle in there. A quick breakdown makes my life go so much quicker. So anyway, hire a delivery driver for the hippie man. Okay, let's go ahead and get digging into some auction stuff. Get my notepad switched around, get my timer ready. As always, as most of you guys know, we're going to run through it real quick. We're going to hold up a piece. We're going to look at that piece. We're going to analyze it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to point at it. We're going to point out any flaws. We're going to talk about that car a little bit. We may get the tape measure out and give you a few dimensions on it. Once we get done with that, if you're interested, go ahead and throw a bid in out there so I know we've got people interested. And I'm going to hit my phone and we're going to go on a timer. We will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute is gone. I will tell you when 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. After that minute, 30-second notification, it is time to be thinking about your maximum bid because everybody has a delay. Some people it's 5 seconds. Some people it's 20 seconds. It varies depending on your provider as well as whether you're on a smart TV, PC, tablet, smartphone. All that stuff affects it. So there's Dirty. So Kenny was all used as an example, but in a different way. So when this hits 200, I will announce the high bidder that I see on both of between the two screens. Because we've got YouTube here, Facebook here. We do have people on Facebook that bid as well. So I do keep an eye on both sets of comments. So just because I announce a bid that you can't see, it means it's probably just on the other format. So as we start working through this stuff, most of the stuff will be shipping included. If there is something different, we'll note that. But for the most part, shipping in the 48 states will be included. If you're a non-U.S. buyer, you are more than welcome to play. However, you will need to get me paid in U.S. funds, as well as you will be responsible for non-U.S. shipping due to the extra expense involved with going out of the country. And as always, if you just have one thing or something, I may hold it for a week to see if we get something else to go with it and see what we can make happen there. So anyway, that being said, are we ready to rock and roll tonight, guys? We've got a lot of cool stuff to do. We'll see what happens, see how things go, see what we feel like, see how long we want to go and what we want to do tonight. Let's start off with, we got a little bit of everything. Let's just catch kind of a normal license plate. As always, we start off with a couple of normal things, nothing really exciting. As we get into tonight's auction, because we want to kind of see where the delays are at, and I will announce all the bids I see on the first few items as I see them, even if they are not the high bidder, just for the simple fact to give you guys an idea of what I'm actually seeing on my screen versus what you're seeing on your screen. So We'll start off with a license plate. I think this is actually a rerun from a few months ago anyway. On this 1961 Kansas 3-digit license plate. Nice condition. 1961 was white with a white background with brown letters. It was the centennial year for Kansas, 1861 to 1961. That is one thing that does make the 61 plate unique. The color scheme, obviously, it was to match the centennial. They had a centennial plate that year, also brown and white. Brown being because it had a buffalo on it and things like that. So, kind of an interesting piece. 1 year only centennial plate. This one in pretty good shape. Big Job remembers that Ed plate. Pretty good shape. Most of the white still on the back as well. It was used, but still in pretty good condition. Standard, roughly 6 by 12 inch plate on the 1961 Kansas Centennial plate. All right, let's get this thing going and get things started as I start looking around for what we want to do next. Big Job 10, Brett 5, Tony 10. Yeah, no kidding. It's supposed to be Edwards County, but that's another good point, Frank. Big Job at 10 was my first 10. There's Briggs at 5 as well. Mark, 15. And there's the 1 minute mark. 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone. 1 minute left to go. Minute 30 on. 30 seconds left. Mark at 15. About ready to wind it down. Mark at 15. And that does it. Mark at 15. Tony was at 20 at 2:02. Mark at 15. Hudson badge. All right. We've done a few of these in the past. These are always fun to do. We're in another collection. You're getting all 3 of these in a one-shot deal of the Ford Times magazines. These, once again, from Oklahoma, like some we had a week or 2 ago. From Reynolds Motors in Norman. Years on these, 1966, 1967, and 1968. Here's the 1966 with the special new 1967 models. 30-page special report on the 1967 Fords. So if you've got a 67 Ford, this is definitely a piece you've got to have. Safety feature standard in 67s. So some cool stuff in that one. October of 67, special report, the 1968 Fords. So let's check out the 68s. Oh, this is amazing. This is a great one. And actually, I got to keep this last one. This is only two in this one. So the 68 I've got to keep because that goes with Shayla's car. So we're going to do two of them. 67 and 68 new product lines. So this will be the 66 and 67 Ford Times. With the new model years in them for 67 and 68. 66 and 67 books with 67 and 68 cars in them. From Reynolds Motor Company, Norman, Oklahoma. That last one I had has Shayla's car in it, so I better throw that in theirs. Or in her car. So let's do two of these real quick. We're doing smaller, cheaper stuff to start with anyway, so we're going to do this pair right now. Big Job, 10. Coming up on the 1 minute mark. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Big Job at 10. Oh, okay. I'll tell her, Mike. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Big Job at 10. Coming out of the wire, I mean, these are probably going to be going with Big Job's collection the way it looks. He's gotten several of these. Frank at 12. Frank wants a few more back. Remembers them from way back when. Big Job at 13 right at the end. Just barely. Big Job got his shot back in, and it was just barely, but he made it. Holy cow, that was tight. Another second, and it would have been too late. Frank came back at 14, but just did not quite get it in. That was as close as you could have snuck it in, Big Job. Seriously, you had no time left. Like, that hit as it was rolling to 200. All right, let's catch a cap. This is kind of a cool one. Auburn badge. This is about a 53 era. As we're going sailing around the world on our Plymouth ship. This is all embossed and stamped in here. It's a stainless cap, and this is stamped in the stainless as well as this ring. We can look at the back and see where it's all stamped in there. This has a metal ring around the stainless to help tie it to the wheel. Kevin at 10. I believe this ring was red originally. Look, we can see like kind of some hints of red. So I think there was red paint around this ring, and then of course it would have been nice and shiny with the ship in it. And I think it's about a 53 era. Let me give you a size on it. Then we're going to get this thing on the timer. 9 inches in diameter on the Plymouth cap. And let's go. Pete just got one at an auction. Nut Farm 15. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left. Kevin, 25. No problem, big job. I usually try to get a few things in your box for sure. I appreciate that. Kevin at 25, about ready to wind this one up. And that does it. Kevin at 25. And I always appreciate that when you guys don't mind if I wait a couple weeks till we get a couple things in there. I don't like sitting on it too long because I get a lot of stuff sitting around here. And obviously you guys that pick up have your designated boxes so that stuff is ready for you as well. Let's see. Let's do something we haven't done in a little bit. I got one of these to ship to Michael right now. We're about down to the end of these. I got I think one more after this and maybe one more pair. So these let's do a buggy step. We haven't done one of those in a while. You know, these things are kind of cool when you look at the age, 100 plus years old, cast iron. This one's a nice round one with it's actually got ridges here and then a diamond plate pattern in it. 3-bolt T-mount on top. This buggy step is about 4 inches across here and about 3 3/4 across here. Has 193 boy apple or something on the bottom of it. Not really sure. And it has almost a 6-inch drop on it. So coming down to the end of these, about done with them. Just a couple of them left. Big job at 10, starting us off on the buggy step. like I said, they're kind of cool pieces. You think about the history involved with these, where they've been, what they've done, and to survive in this condition. Yeah. That happens sometimes too, Kenny. But they are interesting pieces of history. I've got a few of them that have like a car name on them too. That's how early some of those are, because these type of steps were used on cars at the turn of the century. So Rusty at Okie at 20. That's a great idea, actually, Rusty Okie. That would, should have a beer. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. All I've got is my water cup. But you're right. It would be perfect for that. And it's a cool way to do it. Nut Farm at 30. All your friends come over and say, what the heck is that? Well, it's a 100-plus-year-old cast iron buggy step that holds my beer. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left. Yeah, and we did have Ryan and Amy Hope did buy a set for a four-wheel drive Chevy they were building. Nut Farm at 30 as we're ticking away and getting ready to wrap this one up, coming down to the end. Big Job 35. And that does it. Big Job at 35. I still just think these things are cool. One thing about it, if you're going to use them for a beer holder or something, I mean, you're not going to wear them out, that's for sure. All right, we haven't done a horn button in a bit. Let's do a horn button. We need to get some license plates and stuff mixed in here too. Got an interesting license plate coming up. Let's squeeze a horn button in because we haven't done one of those in a while. This one is kind of deep. Kind of got some depth to it. But the cool part about the depth is you can see the depth in the button as well. Almost 2 inches deep. So this sunk down in a steering wheel. So we've got 2 inches, almost 2 inches here. I don't know if I've got a bunch of toys over there I got to sort out, but I don't know if I'm going to get to any of those tonight yet, Weston, or not. Actually, I got a bunch of them over there, and I just haven't brought myself to sort them out and say I can this, and this has got to go because I like them all type thing. So yeah, I've got some stuff, but I don't really have any of it ready tonight, unless there's some small stuff in here. So we can see the depth here on the side of this button, and you're going to look way down in this thing, which is what is so cool about these horn buttons. This is off of, I think, a late 50s era Chrysler. Look how deep you're going down into that. And actually, this is a sunken point. It is not peaked out like a pyramid. This is sunken in, where you can see that point down there. You're looking clear down in there to the big C with the crowns. And then all these side lines running back, sucking you in towards the C with the crowns on your Chrysler. So kind of a neat one. It is. It's just, there again, every time we do these horn buttons, it's just more and more of this. Holy cow, where do they come up with that at? About a little over 3 inches in diameter as you're sucked in to the C for your Chrysler. Like I said, just there again, they had pride in what they were doing, They wanted you to know you were driving something of quality that they were proud of producing. And it's these type of details that just sucked you in to your car, your ride, and the pride you had in it that they did as well. Tractor Mike at 10, kicking us off on the Chrysler horn button. Waycamp 15. It sucked Tractor Mike in. Kevin L at 30. Yeah, stare at that when you're drunk. Yeah, that's a good idea, Big John. That might be a bad idea, actually. We'll give you a Hudson badge, though, to think about it. Kevin L at 30. Frank 40. Nice chrome around the edge. Just, man. Yeah, personality and class. That's exactly what they had. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Frank at 40. And there's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Just about ready to wrap it up. Coming down to the wire. Pete, 53. And that did it. Pete got a 53 in there at about 158. Kevin L had a 45 in there, which didn't make it in time, but it's a good thing Pete took that shot. Pete got it done at 53. Just great pieces. It's amazing what they did with those things. That's why when I found those boxes of them, I had to buy them. Okay. Oh, I already got some stuff laid out here. For our John Deere fans, we got some pieces for our John Deere fans tonight. Combine brochures. The John Deere high-low self-propelled combine and the number 55 self-propelled combine. Nice color pictures, good-looking brochures. Specs on the back. And the number 55 appears to be a little bit older. Oh, this is cool. Check this out. So, a pair of John Deere brochures for our John Deere friends. Getting both of them, one-shot deal. Tractor Mike at 10. You said you already had these. Apparently you need more. Live and on the timer, let's see. Oh, we need to do another plate for sure. In fact, we got an interesting plate coming up. Trying to get Waycamp to bid. Tractor Mike 13 still trying to get Waycamp to bid probably. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Waycamp at 12 after Mike's already bid 15. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left. They're just going Tractor Mike's pile. That's not a problem. He's always got a pile here too. So Weston 16. Tractor Mike 25. And that does it. Tractor Mike. We'll put those in Tractor Mike's pile. Scott's here from Rebel Driver. Glad you made it. Working on a new project. We talked about you a little bit ago. Now, the next plate we're going to do, this is kind of interesting. It's got some paint loss. It's very fragile. It is got some paint popping on it. It is a very, very difficult plate to find. There's Martin. Somebody actually posted one on the Nobody's page a couple of weeks ago on this 1946 Kansas plate. Now, there was talk about the reverse strengthening ridge. This does have that. 1946 had very, very poor paint in Kansas. We can see where we have paint loss through here, and there's a little bit more that is popping, so there may be a little bit more paint that pops off of this plate. I don't think we've ever sold a 46 on here. If we have, it wasn't this good. It was a very rough one mixed in with some other ones. But like was talked about on the Nobody's page, this does have the reverse stamped strengthening rib around the side of it. So, Brett at 10. Very difficult to find plate, even in this condition. Nut Farm 20. Like I said, it will probably lose a little bit more paint, but the bulk of it looks like it is going to be there. So, on the Facebook group, make sure to answer the questions. A couple people asked this week, but we're not approved. So, Kiowa County. So, appreciate that, Andy. Appreciate the work you and Zach do. I know Zach's been running stupid. He hauls supplies for power companies on the East Coast of the Carolinas. So, that's why we haven't seen Zach in a few weeks. But so please remember to answer the questions, and Andy will get you into the Nobody's Facebook group page. So this is a pretty neat piece. It's not one you see very commonly. The back looks pretty good, but definitely paint loss on the front, and there'll be a little bit more, I'm sure, but not compared. Most of these basically have no paint left on them. So let's get this thing rolling. Briggs at 22. 72 members on the Nobody's. Let's see if we can get to 100. That'd be cool. The 46s all had them backwards like that. There was one somebody had posted on the Nobody's page. I looked at some of mine, and they just stamped them backwards that year for some reason. Jeff from Ottawa, 25. So kind of a unique piece, not one we see very often. I've got some plates coming up over the next few weeks that we've never done on here, some odd years, things like that. Jeff from Ottawa at 25, coming up on the 1 minute mark. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Working our way towards that minute 30 mark. And there it is. A minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left to go. Odd piece. Let's see what's going to happen. Briggs, 28. I think 48 was aluminum. Few seconds left. Briggs at 28. Mark Kirk, 33. Austin, 35. And that does it. Austin at 35. Cool piece. Something definitely a little different. Hudson badge. There were several comments about the color, Scott. So you have to go check it out. But I did notice several comments about the color. I don't specifically go look at all the comments, but I see like the last three every time I log on. I'll see like the last three comments, and I did see some about the color. So, okay, let's see what else we want to do. Let's do another cap. Let's do a big cap, a big Kahuna cap. Late 40s era, definitely a statement piece. I think we've had one of these before, but it's been a while. For our Packard friends, look at this one. These are kind of a statement piece cap. I think they are late 40s. It is bigger than these other typical caps. It's deeper. You can use it for cereal. It is let me get my tape measure out here. Maybe. I think the red's been repainted. The black might be original. Because I see some chipping and flaking in the black over here. But I think the red, it looks like there's some scratches underneath that red. So I'm going to say the red has been, the black might be original. Is what my gut feeling is. Valve covers or steering wheels. I got a valve cover over there. This cap is 11.5 in diameter. So about an inch and a half bigger. Most of the ones we do are 9 to about 10.5. This one is 11.5. Obviously deeper, nice shine on it. Great looking statement piece to hang in your man cave. Use it as a dog bowl. That'd be a big dog. So, a few dings and dents around the perimeter here, but a great display piece for our Packard friends. So, let's go ahead and get this one jotted down and get ready to go on the Packard cap. Nut Farm 35. Nut Farm may have just taken care of this one right out of the gate. We'll see here. The cake pan, yeah. It would work for a cake pan. It would make a nice cake. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left. See if anybody's going to challenge Randall or if this is all his. It's happened before. Somebody throws a number out there and runs everybody off right out of the gate. Sometimes that works. Kevin, 38. Nut Farm, 45. Kevin, 47. Few seconds left. And that does it. Kevin at 47. Nut Farm came back at 50 at about a few seconds afterwards. So Kevin at 47 at the 2 minute mark. We haven't done any cans yet tonight. This is a composite, so it's a cardboard, but it's an early cardboard and it has great colors. As you guys know, I have no opposition whatsoever to cardboard cans. They're actually going to be a lot harder to find because if they are not stored properly, if they're in a building where they get any moisture or any weather, they're not going to make it. This one does not have a barcode on it. I'm guessing this is probably late 60s, early 70s. Good color on this red and white Phillips 66 quart. This is Newell stock. It is full. If I have to ship it, I will have to drain it. If it goes into a pickup box, then obviously I can leave it full. You can see where the cardboard wraps around on it. I like the colors on this one. The red and white is very bright, very vibrant. The way it peaks at the bottom, the 66 here. Yep, they always work great for nuts and bolts. The heavy-duty premium motor oil, SAE 2020 on the top. Bottom still intact. If I have to drain it, I'll punch two small holes in the bottom. Do not see a date or a year on this anywhere, but I'm guessing it is late 60s, early 70s. A product of Phillips Petroleum Company, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, United States of America. Good looking can. Let's get this thing on the timer and get rolling with it. Brett, 15. Frank, 20. Waycamp, 20. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Frank at 20. Brett, 21. We can't be losing. I think Tractor Mike is trying to egg him on. Calling him a loser. Well, we'll see here in 30 seconds because a minute 30's gone. 30 seconds left to go. Brett at 21. Frank, 28. Just about done. Frank at 28. And that'll do it. Frank at 28. Just let me know if you want me to drain that and ship it, Frank, or if you want me to just wait till we cross paths again. Just let me know, Frank. Oh, I meant to ask you too. What did you drive over here? Perfect, Frank. What did you drive over here to the auction that night? I seen you pulling out, but I just seen it was something different, but I wasn't close enough to see much. All right, let's catch a few more things yet. That'll be perfect, Frank. That'll work. This next plate is very interesting. Don't know much about it. It's a very odd size. Okay, that's what I thought it looked like a Viper, but I was like, you don't see them that often. Mine and two in Ellenwood, those are the only ones that I know of around here. So I thought it could have been that, but I couldn't get it. I was too far away to tell for sure. So, oh yeah, I know the problem. Trust me. This next plate is very interesting. I don't know much about it. It's an odd size. It's an odd duck. Going back to 1931. Well, there's not a lot of Vipers, period. When you look at how many they built overall compared to other cars, there just isn't a lot of Vipers around at all. So, there's 3 in Barton County. I know, there's 2 Gen 2s and a Gen 1. Mine's a Gen 2, and another guy's got a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 over by Ellenwood. That's about all I know of around here. I know there's a few of them in McPherson over in your area. So, but going up north to Minnesota, 1931. This is a narrower plate, but it's also shorter. A lot of the plates in that era were not as tall, but they were usually a little bit longer. This is kind of a cute little guy. It's 10 1/4 by 4 1/4. So like a lot of these, about 4 inches, but this is only 10 inches. These other ones are typically 12 to 14 on these narrower ones. Brett, 15, original. This appears to be all original paint, black background, white letters. Sounds good, Andy. We'll see you later. The A, the 31, MIN for Minnesota. Really good condition considering its age. Nut Farm at 20. Good looking plate. Let's get this thing on the timer and get rolling. Nut Farm at 20 and crickets. Sounds good, John. Glad you were here. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Martin at 21. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Martin at 21. That's what I'm wondering, Kenny, but nothing yet. We're coming out of the end. Martin at 21. Mark, 34. There it is. And that got it done. Mark took that 34 shot. That's a good looking plate for $34, though. Tony had a 36 in there just a little too late. Tony's missed out on a couple of them this tonight. Late shots. Let's catch a couple of more things. What do you guys want to do? We got a cap next, and then we can do another cap. We can do another plate. What do you guys want to do after this cap? And then we're going to catch a little bit in the magazine and then probably get ready to wrap things up tonight. So you guys let me know what you think you want to do after this. We'll do a cap now. You let me know if we want another cap, a plate, or something like that, and then we'll go from there. Another can. I got one more can we could do. We haven't done any emblems. Do I have any emblems ready tonight? I know what we'll do. We'll do a little emblem that I think you guys will dig that I don't know anything about. I got a little emblem to do, and I don't think it's an original. I think it's aftermarket, but it's super neat. They've been laying in here for a couple months, and I keep forgetting to do it. Something Waycamp will be on. Let's catch this cap real quick. That's something for our Chevy fans. I think this is like a 58 dog dish with the rally flags in it. We can see it's kind of banged up here around the edges. It's got a nice shine. This does appear to be all original paint in this one. Almost a sport wheel type look with the spokes around it and the rally flags in the middle of it. Backside's pretty clean. Tony at 10. Ten and a half is the diameter on this cap. Dirty 25. 10 and a half on the diameter. Brett at 15. I've got Dirty at 25. And we're rolling on the little Chevy cap. Brett, 27. Nut Farm at 30. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Nut Farm at 30. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Kevin, 34. As we're ticking down on this one. Tony at 33. I got Kevin at 34. Nut Farm, 35. Kevin, 37. Few seconds left. Kevin at 37. Austin at 40. And that does it. Austin at 40. Holy cow. That one did get interesting. All right, this next piece I got out, I don't have any idea what it is. I know what it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's original. I don't know if it's something somebody else made. I don't know if it's aftermarket. But it's a cool little emblem, ornament, whatever you want to call it. I can't confirm that it is OE, but it's cool on this teeny tiny little Mack Bulldog. Check this dude out. He's gold plated. He's gold, but he's got some gold color loss on his back. He's got some facial features. This is a little tiny dude. This was not on a truck. I'm sure this isn't on a truck. It does have some screw holes here where it would have mounted similar like a hood ornament does. This whole thing is 2.5. 2.5 inches tip to tail on this little dinky Mac. Don't know a thing about it. Found 2 of them. Don't know if they were an OE deal. Don't know if they were an ornamental deal. Don't have any clue. I just thought they were super neat. Nut Farm at 25. Tony at 10. Nut Farm at 25 on the little dinky Mac. Now, if we compare him to an OE one, obviously facial features are slightly different, but we're crammed into a much smaller package here on this little dude. So, let's hit the timer. Let's go. Nut Farm at 25 on the little Mac dog. No idea what it is. Metal. It is fairly heavy. It's kind of hollowed out there in the middle, but the rest of this thing is all solid metal, including the head. So it is, I mean, it's not heavy, but it's got a little bit of weight to it for what it is. Big Job thinks it is a real piece, so must have been some sort of a display piece, ornamental piece or something. Big Job's around this stuff enough, I'm sure he knows. One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Nut Farm at 25. Michael Gagola at 27. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Michael at 27. Nut Farm, 40. He's kind of a cute little dude. It does have a collar. Couple seconds left. And that does it. Nut Farm at 40, finally. Nut Farm finally got one. Been kind of a rough night for Nut Farm. He got sniped at the last second, but he got that one done, and it's a cool piece. So, all right. We ready to catch a little bit of a magazine, or what do you guys think? What do you want to do? Keep going. Yeah, Kevin's killing. Kenny wants to keep going. Plates. Tony wants a plate. We got more plates here. We can definitely do another plate or two if you guys want. You want to do a couple more things or not? One more? Let's see here. I've got another. What is this? What is this? I'll tell you what, I got kind of a mid-range Tootsie, and we'll do another plate. How's that, guys? Let's see what I got here for plates. Okay, we'll do a Tootsie, and then we'll do a plate, and then we'll get into the magazine. Is that cool with everybody? Austin Money says keep going. I don't remember. I think this may have been a rerun. This is a little bit bigger Tootsie on this delivery truck. Some paint loss, but original tires and wheels, no brakes in the body. Definitely 40s era on this Tootsie Toy delivery truck. Cool looking nose on this thing. Squared off windshield's kind of like a Diamond T. I don't know if this ever had anything back here on the racks or not. I love the rear fenders, the full flowing skirted fenders. Definitely 40s Art Deco type. The cab even has running boards on it. You can see it actually shows window frames around the side of the door windows. The back of it's pretty blah, pretty flat and plain. It is a Tootsie brand. It says it down here in this groove. You probably can't make it out. You might be able to see it down there. This does have all original tires and wheels. You know, this Pete does remember. Okay, that's what I was thinking. It may have been a rerun from a few months ago. You know, this one still looks fairly decent the way it is, or with a repaint would be a very, very nice Tootsie. So, you guys got pretty good memory if you remember this stuff from a couple months ago. Because if it doesn't get paid for, then I just recycle them back into the boxes. And then, of course, I refill these boxes every week. So this stuff is just constantly getting shuffled and cycled. So I don't remember it all. So anyway, we'll do this Tootsie. We'll do a plate. And then we'll get into the magazine. So let's go ahead and roll on the Tootsie. Like I said, no breaks, chips, damage to the body. Could be refinished and make a very nice truck. Coke truck very easily could have been a Coke truck. Tony, 20. And then we'll catch a plate. Kind of a different plate, different state. I don't think we've done one of these before. It's got a little age to it, but good color and kind of some odd colors. But I guess it is October, so it's Halloween, right? One minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Tony at 20. Old car screw jacks. I do sell jacks. Just depends on, you know, what you need or if there's a specific one you want. Minute 30 gone. 30 seconds left to go. Tony at 20. Looks like that's going to be it. Maybe, yeah, Tony threw out the winning bid. And we're going to know here in a few seconds for sure, but you're probably right. Kenny, 21. And gets it done. Woo, sneaks in there at 158. Kenny with a 21. Tony's not doing much better than Nut Farm is tonight. Holy cow. Kenny slid that one in. All right, we'll catch one more plate. Like I said, it is October. Halloween is coming up. Because we got an orange and black plate, which is kind of odd. Not colors you typically see on a license plate. But we're going up north to the Rust Belt to Illinois to 1952. And they used an orange background with black letters in 1952. So kind of different. I don't think we've done any of these before. This one's been up a little bit. But this thing is 70 years old, has not been touched. And look at the paint on this thing. Especially on something that came from the Rust Belt. So, yeah, I was kind of surprised. Kind of an interesting piece, something a little bit different. Like I said, it's just kind of, it's just the colors stand out because you don't see orange and black plates that often. Brett starting us off at 10. It is a standard size, roughly 6x12 plate. Nut Farm at 20. Let's get this thing going. And then we're going to catch a little bit of magazine yet tonight before we wrap up. We got some cool stuff coming up from the Automobile Trade Journal from 1934, the issue that our good friend Glenn got us. Brett at 21, Martin at 21. Sounds good, Kenny? No problem. Yeah, if I can put 2 or 3 things in a box, that dramatically changes the shipping price. So, Brett 22, Martin 22. Michael at 22. Everybody's at 22. Martin 25. Took care of that problem. Coming up on the 1 minute mark, we've got Martin at 25. 1 minute gone, 1 minute left to go. Brett, 27. Michael at 27. Martin at 28. This one might be interesting at the end at $1 increments. We've got Martin at 28 as of right now, almost to the minute 30 mark, and one chunky butt kitty. Minute 30 gone, 30 seconds left to go. Martin at 28. Nut Farm, 30. Martin, 31. We're coming down to the end. Just a few seconds left. Martin at 31. Tony, 36. And that does it. Tony finally gets him one at 36. Slid it in there at about 158. No time for anybody to react. Good shot, Tony. You finally got in tonight. You kept getting sniped. All right. Ready for a little bit of magazine? Now, since I don't know what my next couple weeks look like, you know, we've been using these Automobile Trade Journals a lot. There's so much cool stuff in them. Brett was talking and not paying attention. But, you know, but I do like mixing some other stuff in. But since my next 2 weeks, thanks, Kenny. Glad you guys had fun. And that's right. Congratulations to all of our winners. Have a lot of fun doing that and love seeing all the pictures on the Nobodies page as you guys are hanging this stuff up and adding it to your collections. It's so cool. It's so awesome. But since my next 2 weeks are up in the air, like I said, I think we'll be on, but I don't know what that looks like at this point since I'm going to be out of town. So we're going to catch a little bit more of the Automobile Trade Journal supplied by our good friend Glenn from October of 1934. So we'll catch a few interesting pages in here tonight, and then we'll see how the next few weeks goes. Because like I said, I think I will be on, but it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to look like, depending on making sure I get back on time. So let's go. See, we still got Kevin's business card here, fortunately. So we got our bookmark right here ready to go. As we flip open to page 56, and this is some pretty interesting stuff. Now, as always, when we do these magazines, we have to take ourselves back in time. We have to go back mentally to 1934, which is a little tough for me or for most of us, because I don't think any of us were around. So we have to take ourselves back and put ourselves back in that time period of where we think things were and what it was like. And then we can compare and contrast that with 20/20 hindsight to what we see today. But where we're going to start off with is profit makers. Yes, these are new gadgets, tools, things to use around the shop. Get a hold of Heather. So let's learn about some of the new products in 1934. October of 1934 to be exact, so 90 years ago. What was new and exciting in 90 years ago in the automotive world? Tropic air heaters. This one we do have a picture of. Right here, the tropic air heater. Let's see what they have to say about this. And it says, maker's description, new features and refinements developed for tropic air hot water heaters increase the heating efficiency, dependability, and stamina of these heaters. The radiators of improved fin and tube type construction with copper core and brass tanks are now made in the modern Tropic Air factory. A new type heavy-duty high-speed motor is used. The four-blade fan is of special design. The exclusive biplane deflectors are fully adjustable and rattle-proof. Greater convenience for the motorist who is afforded by new type illuminated switches on all models, and the shut-off valve on the deluxe model permits the driver to turn the hot water on or off from the front seat without raising the hood. So, that's what is crazy to think about. This was the newfangled deluxe model where you didn't have to open the hood to actually shut the hot water valve off in the summer. This was the fancy one where you could do it from inside the car. There again, hey, wow, Austin got more raffle tickets. Shockingly. Thanks, Austin. Sounds great. You know, in today's world, we turn a knob and there's blend air door motors and actuators that handle all this stuff instantly. Back in, this was fancy because you got an illuminated switch. You had to manually open and adjust your doors. You had to manually turn on or turn off the hot water in the summer. But in 34, that was as good as it got. That was that newfangled technology stuff. Black Hawk hydraulic jack. We've got a picture of this one as well. Right here. This Black Hawk hydraulic jack, designed especially for Chevrolet and Pontiac cars with knee action wheels. An unusually high lift is required to clear the wheels of these two cars for tire changes or repairs. The L8 hydraulic jack is 8 inches low, has double telescoping lift of 11 inches, giving a full top height capacity of 19 inches. Capacity of 2,000 pounds and sufficient for all passenger cars and light trucks. The L8 weighs only 15 pounds and is a compact, sturdy lifter. Sled-type base makes placement easy, and the long handle serves the necessity of crawling under the car to operate the jack. Kind of crazy to think about. Here's something that you don't think of at all anymore in today's world. The Weaver axle straightener. These axle straightening attachments for 1934 knee action cars are used in conjunction with Weaver camber correction tools and Weaver caster correction tools. You need them to bring your equipment up to date to handle axle straightening jobs on 1934 knee action cars. Attachments complete for both camber and caster correction work consists of 2 twisting arms, 4 jack support bars, and 2 jack support pins. Price $24.75. That was a ton of money back then. There is a small picture of it, and literally this is what we're talking about. Literally, you could bend the axle however you needed it to set the alignment. This next one kind of blew my mind. Steelcraft piston expander. Anybody ever heard of a Steelcraft piston expander? I've never heard of a piston expander, but they had one available in 1934. And I'm going to show you the picture, and then we're going to read it, because I had to look at the picture and read it, and look at the picture and read it. So I'm going to show you the picture, then I'm going to read you the text so you guys can kind of follow what they're saying. So right down in here, I hope you guys can see it. They literally have a rod in here, and they have a wrench, and this rod is inside the skirt of the piston. Okay? Maker's description. With this expander, the mechanic can adjust the skirt of each piston to fit the needs of each cylinder from 1/1000th to 25,000th of an inch, eliminating all possibility for piston slap. It can be installed in in-bar strut pistons without drilling or cutting, also in lineite strut pistons with simple drilling operation. Installed near the top of the piston skirt, allowing piston to taper slightly towards the bottom, conforming to taper of worn cylinder. Causes no wall tension, made of special heat-treated material. Weighs 5/8 of an ounce. It's kind of what I thought, Pete. That's kind of what I thought. Retail price 50 cents. But that's literally what they were doing to help offset worn cylinder walls. I never have either. Thanks, Randall's looks great. But that's the cool part about doing this stuff. A lot of this stuff never made it this far for good reason, but it never survived. But we can learn about it here 90 years later because we're hanging out, checking out these magazines. Check out the list of Johnny stand-ins. Casco defroster. I have seen these before. This probably will look familiar to some of you guys. These were the defrosters that you could like stick on a window with suction cups. I'll show you the picture so you guys have an idea of what we're talking about here. These right here. Maker's description. Casco defrosters will prevent condensation or fog in the area of the defroster on the inside of the windshield with heating coil off, and will melt ice, sleet, or wet snow on the outside of windshield with current on. This new improved defroster has 4 heated wires to ensure ample heat for the coldest days and an embossed frame to give you strength and neat appearance. The 4 steel suction cups with adjusting thumb nuts bring the live rubber flange tightly against the windshield, sealing the airspace. The glass size of senior model with 4 heating wires is 16 1/16 by 7 1/16. The junior defroster with 3 wires has glass size of 13 1/16 by 5 7/16. Retail price for the senior model with a chrome frame, $5. Enamel frame, $4.50. Junior model with a chrome frame, $3.25. Enamel frame, $3. Other models available. So I assume these plugged in. Somehow into the electrical system. They have these heated wires in them for defrosting them. I have seen those before, but never really much about them. Another thing that we don't even remotely think about anymore, but back in 1934 was a big issue. The Pratt-Chuck spiral muffler. Right here, the Pratt-Chuck spiral muffler. Maker's description. The new anti-blowout Pratt-Chuck muffler designed for Ford and Chevrolet cars embodies an advanced method of muffler construction designed and tested to resist the most severe backfires and to withstand muffler drum and to withstand the wear and tear of external abuse. The muffler drum is spirally wound and ribbed with 4-ply steel at 5/8 inch intervals, ensuring unusual sturdiness. The spiral muffler has no longitudinal seams to crack or blow apart. Now, backfiring back in that time period, pretty common. It did happen, and yes, it would blow a muffler out. You would get fuel back in there, it would backfire, all that pressure would literally blow out a muffler. What they're talking about here, no longitudinal seams. We look at the picture once again, these all go around the case, if you guys can see that. Nothing lengthwise, all goes around for strength. When you have a seam going all the way down the side of this thing, you get an explosion back there. It doesn't take much to blow it out. There again, just more things that in today's world, we don't even think about exhaust anymore. You know, and that's something that a lot of people don't even realize. When I bought my first parts store in 2001, they had a ton of exhaust in there. I kept a little bit of it. We eliminated a lot of it. And by the time I bought the second parts store in 2010, we pretty much had no exhaust in stock at all. And exhaust for years was such a major part of the automotive world because it all rusted out. You know, now it's stainless or aluminized, things like that. And it doesn't rust nearly like it used to. Now, up north, it may still do it, but down here, not hardly ever do you see rusted out exhaust systems falling off of cars anymore. So, another example of how things have changed so much in the automotive world over the last 10 or 20 years. One other interesting thing, and this was top of the line technology for 1934, the Widenoff motor analyzer. Check this baby out right here. Quite a deal. Lots of gauges, lots of stuff, and let's learn a little bit about it. The Widenoff motor analyzer. With the addition of the complete battery and starting motor test, the Widenoff 830 motor analyzer leaves nothing to be desired in the way of an all-around efficient piece of engine tuning equipment at a moderate price. The Model 830 makes complete battery and starting motor test by Wheatstone bridge method, tests compression of each cylinder, makes general ignition test, checks ignition coil at 40, 30, and 20 degrees of cam angle corresponding to low, medium, and high RPM. Coil is first preheated with a heater on analyzer, tests condensers, charge and discharge meters give simultaneous readings, makes tests of parts like ignition cable, breaker points, distributor parts, spark plugs, etc. Tests engine vacuum and shows condition of fuel pumps, vacuum tank, and other parts of the carburetor system from Joseph Widenoff Incorporated in Chicago, Illinois. I don't have that one. I've got some old test equipment, but I don't have that one. Now, the crazy part about this, retail price in 1934, you know, we're just getting towards the end of the Depression. Things are still pretty tough in the country. $465. an astronomical amount of money in those days. Almost probably what a new car would cost. So that was what really shocked me. Even though it is a fairly complex tester, that was still a ton of money in those days. So anyway, that finishes up the Profit Maker products for the October 1934 issue of the Automotive Trade Journal. I think we'll probably go ahead and get ready to start winding things down. We are pushing 10 o'clock, so don't think we need to probably get into too much more in here as we get ready to wind things down. Nutfarm still uses a Sears analyzer from the 70s. Hey, Gray Kitty. Gray Kitty, come here. You want to say hi? Come here. Do you want to come say hi or not? What? Come here. Come here. I guess she doesn't want to say hi tonight. So anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll get Kevin's card put back in here at our next stop in the 1934 Automobile Trade Journal. As we get ready to shut down. All right, what else is coming up? Toy Tuesday. I will try to get on Tuesday this week. Last Tuesday got away from me. So we will try to do Toy Tuesday live. And then we got to get some new inventory up. I've got a little bit of it ready. Got an Omega SX, which I didn't know what an Omega SX was. I don't know if you guys do or not, but we're all going to learn a little bit about them. Hey, thanks to you, Glenn, we've got it to do. And the Omega came from Glenn as well. Glenn helps us out a lot. Big supporter of the show. Helps me out, keeping his eye out for cool cars so they don't go into the shredder. So, always appreciate that as well. But obviously, just from what I told you guys, we had new inventory coming in this week. In fact, where'd that notebook go? What have I not done videos on yet? What have I not done videos on yet that are coming soon? 65 Nova Tudor hardtop, 94 Ford F350 diesel, 57 Mercury pace car, 66 Fairlane GT convertible, 55 Chevy truck, 84 Lincoln Town car, 51 Chevy truck, 58 Chevy pickup, 75 Le Mans, 91 Dodge Daytona, 65 Bel Air, 75 C60, 62 Ford COE, mid-30s Dodge truck, 48 Ford truck, 55 Pontiac Tudor hardtop, 64 International. So we got a lot of stuff that we've got to be getting you some content on here very soon. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. As always, I appreciate the kind comments. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I appreciate the Johnny Carson comments. That's pretty cool that you think we do put some sort of a quality product out here. So that's always fun. And I definitely appreciate you guys being here and helping make this what it is. Because without you guys, it's just me sitting here talking into a webcam. So like I said, the next couple weeks, watch for the posts. As long as nothing goes completely haywire, I will plan on being on, but they will be probably not normal run-of-the-mill episodes, just depending on how time flows. So keep an eye out for the posts the next 2 weeks, and we will plan on doing the drawing in 2 weeks, one way or another. Even if I'm not in town, I'll try to remember to take the names with me, but we will figure something out one way or the other. So anyway, that being said, I appreciate you guys all being here, supporting this. And let your friends know if they think they'd enjoy it. Invite them to come hang out with us and become a nobody. Be sure to get on the Nobodies page to keep up with what's going on with everybody. It's so cool seeing all your posts. And with that, I think I'm going to jump off of here. 53 Pilot House. Yeah, I did do a full video on that truck quite a while ago. A couple months ago, probably, Randy. 64 Buick looks similar to a Falcon convertible, probably a Skylark, I bet. So, anyhow, I'm going to get rolling. Thanks for being here, guys, tonight. We'll see some of you Tuesday evening for some Toy Tuesday. We will still get some content up this week. That's right, Kenny. Crazy to think episode number 234, and we're still here, and you're still here, and we're still having fun. But that's where we're at. So anyway, we'll see some of you Tuesday. The rest of you, we show up to see you right back here, same bat time, same bat station, next Sunday night, unless things go haywire and I don't get home in time. But other than that, have a great week, everybody. Thanks for spending your Sunday evening with me and all the rest of the nobodies, and we will see you guys next week.